Welcome to the GPK Boys. I'm Nick Atef. Today we have special guest Steven from SPK Breaks. Steven, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here today.
Steven, tell us about SPK Breaks and how you started collecting baseball cards.
And I started, when I was, 9-10 years old in the mid 80s. My mom would give me a couple dollars to go to the store. I'd go buy a pack of 85 tops. That was the year when I started. An occasional pack of the original CV's Garbage Pail Kids, which, obviously I didn't save and I used and abused. And I'd have a little money left over to buy a hot dog and then play a couple games at Donkey Kong too. So I played Little League as a kid. So I naturally just loved baseball, collected everything I can get my hands on baseball card wise throughout the 80s. Even in the late 80s, I even set up at card shows and sold at card shows, which probably planted the seed for, what I'm kind of doing now that I'm having a lot of fun with. I started SPK Cards Breaks back in 2018. What got me back into it was baseball exploded. The cards exploded in 2017 with the Yankees and Aaron Judge. And that got me back into it. It's the rest has been history since.
So really heavy on sports, but we know that we know that GPK has stolen your heart. So how did you get into GPK and what about it do you love?
Other than buying the occasional packs in 85 when I was buying baseball cards, that was really my only exposure to GPK. I got a box as part of the Montgomery Club when that with Sapphire, when that came out, watched a couple breaks, and it was right around New Year's when I said, I'm going to do some breaks. So I started with that. The community, there's no doubt the community and the connections and friends I made in the community is what got me into it. The cards themselves, they're fun. They're in the society we live in today, those cards are kind of almost like a release from the society. You could look at it, they poke fun at things. I'm a big fan of The Office, and I liken it I like these cards for the same reason I like The Office.
Totally. There's the humor and parody, right?
Exactly.
So who's your favorite character then?
I've gone back and forth, but Patti Scotty is up there. My wife agrees with that because she says I spend a lot of time in the bathroom. So she's spot on with that. Hot Scott. If there's one parallel that I want from Sapphire, I have a couple Sapphire base sets, but if there's one parallel, I want the red Hot Scott is calling my name. That's one card I want. I've already reached out to a couple of the bigger people out there saying, hey, if you find this, I need to have this card, for my collection. There's something about it. And I'm sure I'm going to pay through the nose when it does become available. So,
well, since you've been in it for a while, including, since you're a kid, but also just heavily since 2017, do you have anything cool to show us?
My collection is it's going to be dwarfed by a lot of other people's, but the nice thing about collecting is you're like, at least with me, what I collect over time changes. My taste change, what I'm going after. Two cool things I picked up this summer. Because I love PSA cards. I have some frames on the wall that hold PSA cards. I have a PSA 8 Atom Bombs, the stickers once the checklist back. So that's a lot of fun. I've had Ad Rock do several sketches. He did a sketch of me, and you see my Facebook page. So I love this one because this I think the true picture of what I'm like when I'm doing Garbage Pail Kids Break. I sleeve and top load everything. It's what I'm known for, and it's Sleeve Steve trying to get out of a penny sleeve, over there. He did sketches for my kids too. Angry Avery. So it's like an offshoot of Atom Bomb. It's the explosion on the head. For my son, Vendon Brendan, it's a vending machine and it's got like Lego figures in there and all these things that he likes too. So
awesome.
My wife even wants to do a Christmas card, I think next year with all of us as a Garbage Pail Kids. I have some sealed stuff that I've obtained too. So these are all blaster boxes, Chrome 1, 2, and 3. I have hobby boxes of Chrome 1, 2, and 3. And primarily where my collection is overall, I digress, but overall where my collection is now, I'm going back to things that I like to look at. So I'm getting, for my personal collection, I have PSA cards from the 80s that I'm having a huge frame made. So it's something on the wall that I see anytime I'm in my office. But I'm back to set building again. So I have, all the Chrome. See if you can see it here. Chrome 1, 2, and 3 sets. I have a Sapphire set. I'm originally going to go back to the paper sets too and build those. But I'm doing the same thing with baseball, starting backwards, building sets now too. So
you obviously have opened a ton of Sapphire boxes.
Creator Chris. Woo! Holy shit. I'm sorry for the language. Nasty Nick. Holy cow. Wow.
Any idea how many you've opened?
575 on camera. Holy shit. It's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah.
Efficiently. I have to add, I open them very efficiently too.
Here's another question. When we look back at the 80s when GPK first hit the scene and baseball cards were blowing up in popularity, how do the cards from the 80s compare to the cards made today?
80s was easy. In the mid 80s, you had Topps, Fleer, Donruss. You had base sets. That was it. There were no parallels. There were no autographs. There were no chrome cards. It was just, your 792 card top set, your 660 card Fleer and Donruss set. You want to get a rainbow, you can get a rainbow for probably $150 total, and then you have your rainbow for the year. It wasn't until 89 Upper Deck coming out, in 89 Upper Deck with their slightly glossy finish, cool foil packs, hologram on the back of the card and everything. Wasn't until they came out that people started upping their game and you started seeing more. But if you look now, there's so many products. It's the parallels, color parallels, autographs. That's where it's at now, and that's what really makes the chase fun. But I still love base cards. So
so we know that for our OS1 sets, there's the top big four, right? You got 1A, 1B, 8A, 8B. Is there anything that's comparable from the 80s baseball cards that have like a top four that's like our top four in the GPK world?
Yeah, this card, definitely the 89 Griffey. When I went to take a step back, I went to the national convention this year, and it was the second one I went to, and the first one I was lost because there was so much stuff to look at. So I actually had a targeted list of what I wanted to get this year, and I outlined 25 top 80s PSA graded cards for the frame that I'm going to put together and display. But 89 Griffey, another one of my favorites. This is the 90 score, Bo Jackson, iconic picture. And then this is another one that I love too. My kids love this one too. The 89 Fleer, Billy Ripken. And I'll keep a PG on your thing and I won't say it, but you guys can see on the bat now what it says. Those, in my opinion, I think are the big three from that time frame. The big four, you could probably cycle out, 83 Gwynn, 84 Mattingly. There's so many, 87, Bonds, 86 Donruss, Jose Canseco. There's so many that you can cycle out, But one of my personal favorites is this one here. I use it a lot of time in my breaks. When I hit a parallel that's numbered 17, I'll say the Mark Grace of 99, the Mark Grace of 50. I had probably about 25 or 30 of these back in 1988.
So let me ask you. So Chrome 3, I mean, everybody says that Sapphire is the reason why sports guys started coming into our world, but actually it was Chrome 3 that actually started bringing people in because of the different waves and the different parallels and and then Sapphire came and it was like ultra premium with the really low numbered parallels and stuff. How do modern GPK stuff, well, particularly the cards and how they market them and how they sell them to us, how do they compare to how they also market and sell the baseball cards? Is it sort of the same thing?
They're right there. Topps does a lot of parallels. Panini, when you look at their basketball and football products, like if you're chasing a rainbow, you can be chasing anywhere between 30 and 40 cards to get to that rainbow. Like in Sapphire, we had 7 to get to a rainbow. And I think Chrome 3 was probably about 12 to 15, if I had to venture a guess, somewhere in that range. But it's very similar, and it's really mirroring it. I think what we're going to see, over the next year, especially with Chrome 4 and then the next Sapphire release, we're going to see even an addition of more color parallels that make an appearance. Like one that Topps added this year in some baseball product, we saw neon green, we saw magenta, canary yellow also was making an appearance. So I think we're gonna see that expand too into the Garbage Pail Kid lines too.
With all these breaks that are happening, the GPK breaks, there's actually a bit of a phenomenon, and there's been a bunch of incredible trackers that are now sort of keeping the data and really keeping us informed on what's out there and what's maybe not out there. Is there something similar in the baseball world?
The only thing I know of is on the blowout forums for certain products, they'll go ahead and have a superfractor tracker to, or Podparacha superfractor tracker to go ahead and track those cards. But there's nowhere I know of where you can go and pull up a spreadsheet and say, okay, how many purple parallels have been pulled that we know of? How many are left? How many red parallels? There is absolutely nothing like that. If you look over like what Ben's done, there's nothing like that. And one thing I want to mention is that a lot of people, when the atom bomb, got pulled, or was revealed.
Holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
They said, oh, box prices are going to go down. Break prices should go down. If anything, I think the fact that they're tracking everything for those people chasing a specific character, that's probably brought prices down. If it wasn't for the tracking, I can make an argument that box prices could be higher. Break prices could still be higher. Just because you don't know how many reds have been pulled, and you want that red,
Holy shit.
So I think it's an invaluable tool, and if people don't look at it, they're, it's something they should look at, because they're doing themselves a disservice without looking at those numbers, for sure.
Oh my fucking God.
Now, Stephen, I've heard, and actually we've all kind of heard, you say something about us having something really special amongst the Facebook groups. What is that special thing that you talk about?
This year, normally I'd be opening baseball product like crazy, but my focus has been on Garbage Pail Kids, because I'm having fun, enjoying doing it. It's a family. That's essentially what it is. I have not seen anything or been involved in anything quite like it in the sports card world, for myself at least. When I did my first eBay break, I remember right away all the people up in chat. The thing I noticed, I'm like, man, all these people know each other. They're egging on at each other, joking, congratulating somebody on another card they had picked up. And then they're getting on me for not wearing gloves and making those comments and everything with that first break. It was like an episode of Cheers. Everybody knows everybody. The breaker should never be the spotlight, and I don't want to be the spotlight. But I felt completely, even though I'm the one revealing the cards, I felt completely in the background to everything else that was going on.
In our GPK world, and there's moments throughout the year where we'll have drama, and then no drama, and then drama, and then no drama. Does that happen in the baseball world?
Not that I've been involved in.
Okay, but have you ever seen it? Is that even a thing, or is that like exclusive to GPK?
I don't think it's exclusive to GPK. I just don't think I've been entrenched in a community enough to possibly experience it as much as I am. So, and I think with that drama, it goes back to how I said, I think it's a family. I view it as a family. You give me a person who's never had a fight with anyone in their family, who hasn't gone months without talking to someone in their family, so I think that's what it is. I think when you have people as passionate and care as much as they do, that you're gonna get this.
Obviously, in the GPK world, we can build rainbows. So you just mentioned our rainbows are 7, and then there's we've got sketches, we've got autographs, we've got relics. What do the baseball world have?
Basic thing is going to be the color parallels. Like if you're looking like at a Topps flagship product, you can have same thing, base cards with different color parallels. Does
the baseball Sapphire also only have 7 cards, or do they have more?
I think the baseballs. I forgot to show you one cool thing. Actually, I'll show you in a minute. But
sure.
I'm going my first rainbow that I'm going after right now. I opened up a bunch of finest flashbacks, and I was fortunate enough to pull the Ichiro Superfractor. One on this. So then I went ahead, and of course I had to start. It's only 7 cards, and I've gotten the red.
Nice. So 1 of 5.
1 of 5. Yeah. Gold to 25.
Okay.
Just a regular refractor that's not numbered. And then the base. I have a black of 25 and it's mailed to the mail to me, and then a prism to 35 that's on the mail. So I have the whole rainbow already. So, and it's the first rainbow that I've gotten. But in baseball, it's, if you're looking at flagship product, they could have black parallel, they could have a camouflage parallel. It's just, it's all over the place. But to answer your question, in Sapphire, the most recent Sapphire product would have been Bowman Chrome. Oh no, would have been Bowman Sapphire. And I don't remember how many parallels, but I know it was more. They had yellow, they had a canary yellow, and I think they had a magenta. So they probably had about 9 to 10 total possible spots, including the base, in addition to an autograph parallel and an autograph color parallels too, in addition to that too. So
if a GPK collector wanted to start collecting sports cards, where would somebody like that start?
Watch breaks on YouTube and see what you like. There's baseball. There's so many products that come out. Like I had 2 releases this past week in baseball. I have 2 releases coming up this week in baseball. You cannot collect everything in baseball. It's absolutely impossible. But I would watch breaks on YouTube to get a feel for what kind of cards, or what if you buy a box, what does it look like? Because wax prices are crazy right now across everything. So maybe you're better off buying singles instead of wax. But I think YouTube, watching breaks, is the way to go. Buy some stuff, see if you like it, and then and like I said, collectors, that's what I love about collecting is that, over time you change, and you change how you collect, what you collect, and that's a cool thing about it. So, but I think YouTube, watching breaks just to see what's out there.
Stephen, thank you so much for sitting with us. I really picked your brain and it was great. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Anytime.
I'm freaking the fuck out.